guys, here we are out at the Bailey's Trail System in southeast Ohio. They just recently completed about 75 miles of single track. So not only is this the largest amount of single track you can find in the state of Ohio, it's one of the largest or longest, if not the largest, places to ride single track in the eastern United States. So let's check it out. The Chauncey Depot Trail is where we're starting out. Let's hit Coltrane as a good beginner warm up. And we can start getting into a little bit spicier stuff. It's pretty dry out here actually. You can see it in the rivers, creeks when you ride up here. Looks like they haven't had a lot of rain. Most of these trails are machine built. So from what I hear, some of these we should be able to get going pretty good. Some nice flowy sections. Not as much of the old school rooty gnarly stuff, though that is out here. We do have races out here from time to time. This past weekend they actually had one at a complex. I wasn't able to make it, but it was Bailey's Funduro race, the annual event. Supposedly lots of food trucks. Great time, but couldn't make it this year. How far are we going today, you ask? Well, it all depends. The plan is to ride until we run out of daylight, so we'll see how far that gets us. Definitely lots to explore. Not going to be able to hit all 75 miles today, but save that for another trip. Maybe you guys could ride it. Let me know what you think of the Bailey's Trail System down here. Let me know down in the comments if you've ridden here before. But fairly close to Ohio University and worth the drive if you got a full day to ride, or even a half day, like in my case. That's fun. Very fun. Nice flowy section. Lots of foliage down. The other thing that makes these Bailey's trails nice, if you've been in other parts of Wayne National Forest, you don't have to contend with any motorized traffic. There's something that's open to horses, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, everything. These are purpose-built trails for mountain bikes, and that's the only thing allowed on here, so makes it nice. You don't have some of the horrendously steep climbs that you get in Wayne National Forest, because these are made with having somebody pedaling up those hills in mind, so a little more doable rather than just blipping the throttle on your dirt bike or four-wheeler. Yeah, some climbs. There's some nice flowy sections. Like this Coltrane route, I'd take my kids on. This is this would be a great beginner route. Great route for kids. And scenery and features to be fun. And not too much climbing that you just wore out, but enough. The other cool thing about down here is they don't really get that much snow in this part of Ohio. So you can ride down here most of the winter and it's cool and not too hot. If you hit Bailey's in the heat of the summer, this is a very hot and humid part of Ohio. You're gonna roast. But in the fall, like right now, it's very nice out here. And you can really ride this all winter. It's not gonna get any meaningful snow or ice. Gotta be up by the lake really to get a decent amount of snow in Ohio. Lake Erie, that is. If you're worried about hunters, you don't really need to be this time of year in Ohio. You might get some small game hunters. Archery season is ongoing right now. But the only time to really be worried in the woods, I would say, about hunters is during the deer rifle season, deer gun season, which is in November, the end of November, going into early December, around Thanksgiving time. This time of year, all you're going to have is bow hunters out here for the most part. And you may not even see them. They're not going to be wearing orange like your gun hunters. They're going to be full camo. There's some sign pushed over straight from the Funduro. I think all in all planned, there's something like 85 miles planned. There's a deer down there. 75 so far. A lot of single track. It's definitely more than you can ride in a day. And there are some expert lines with some jump trails and things like that. So if you're into that, you can find it here. You can find mild stuff like what we're riding right now as a warm-up to about as wild as you want to go. And you see, I'm the only one riding out here right now. It's kind of a remote part of the state, but if you're looking for restaurants and things like that, Ohio University is like 15 minutes away from here. You can find whatever you want in downtown Athens there. Not Athens, Georgia, or Athens, Greece. There is, in fact, an Athens, Ohio. It's one of those names that's pretty much everywhere, like Springfield or Louisville. You're gonna see those wherever. Actually, depending on which way you come down here, you may even see a Jacksonville, Ohio, which is a super tiny town. Very tiny compared to the massive city of Jacksonville, Florida. But they recycle the names across country. Saw that even living in Nebraska. They have a Louisville, Nebraska, Ashland, Nebraska, Ashland, Ohio, Ashland, Kentucky. Same names almost everywhere you go, to a certain extent. You get something really unique, like Punxsutawney, PA. I've only heard of one of those. But Columbus, Ohio, another generic name you get everywhere. Hey, the squirrel's on the trail. Columbus, Georgia. Nice little scenic trail looking down the holler there. lot of what I like on mountain biking is similar to what I used to really love about dirt biking and four-wheeling, is just exploring out in nature. Not necessarily going 100 miles an hour, hitting massive jumps, but getting out here and exploring. And you got 75 miles to explore. This is perfect for that type of riding. The bicycle's so quiet compared to something with a motor. You can really sneak up on some wildlife and get a good view of them before they even know you're there. Yeah, if you like to explore, kind of be off by yourself in the woods, Bailey's is hard to beat, especially anywhere on the East Coast. You can take a bike. If you count Ohio as the East Coast, east of the Mississippi, Midwest, whatever you want to call it. It's some good riding, for sure. Time of year is probably the best time to be here. A lot of guys still ask out on the trail down in the comments, hey, what are those goofy looking bars you're running? These are in fact Jones bars. You can get your own set at jonesbikes.com. They make their own complete bikes. You can buy a set of bars like I have. I found them to be a game changer, especially if you do really long rides like I like to. You have multiple hand positions, so arms falling asleep with no way to really get relief is the thing of the past. Got great control on descents and climbs. I can move my hands around. It increases comfort greatly on long rides. Also, if you're doing any camping or anything, bike packing, you got many more attachment points for all your GPSs, extra lights, radios, whatever you want to mount on here. They make bar bags specifically for these Jones bars. The Jones bikes, if you guys are watching this, let me know. Maybe we can work out something for next season. Of all the races, mountain bike races I've done this year, I literally have not seen one other set of Jones bars racing. Seeing lots of people say, hey, are those Jones bars, or what are those? But I haven't seen one other person running a Jones bar in a race environment. So there's some opportunity there. I'm sure people faster than me could be running these bars, but I think they're great. I haven't had any issues with them on XC type races. You know, maybe not ideal for a Red Bull hardline, but neither is Ozark Trail hardtail. So take that for what it's worth. Love to ride, but truth be told, I'm not cut out for a Red Bull hardline no matter what bike I'm on. Doesn't matter. You need a helicopter to fly over that whole thing. Those guys are something else. Fascinating to watch. Love to see it. Some of the best riders in the world. Absolutely amazing. But not for me. Really pushing the limits of what I could jump and do a few years ago. Ended up with broken collarbone, and I was sidelined for about half the summer. So ever since then, a little more cautious. I don't have any this is not my main job, at least not yet, so I gotta hold myself together and be able to do everything else I need to do other than ride bikes. Not to mention, I'm also not riding bikes if I got broken bones. So, not a fun injury. And I think part of the lingering arm numbness that I had was a result of that hard crash I had a couple years ago. But once I healed back up, got back on the bike and back out here. So, it's a little more cautious. Thinking about why I'm riding. Enjoy getting out. enjoy staying fit. So those are the things that I prioritize when I ride, and having fun. I will say, especially being a guy on a hardtail, that's where I make my money in the races. Can't really keep up with a lot of the full suspension guys on fast downhills, but I catch them on the climbs. So if you race on a hardtail like I do, prioritize your hill work. That's where you're gonna make your money. All right, here we go. Lost Marbles, blue route. Let's see what we got. Bags here. Many people don't know, Ohio has terrain this steep. Pretty cool switchbacks just hugging the hillside. Definitely steep. I don't want to go off into the abyss there. Look at the rock wall. This is cool. That was a skunk for a second. Took it slow. I think it was a squirrel. I hope it was. Seen lots of skunks this year. Almost been sprayed a few times. I want to get sprayed out here. They'll live outside for a couple weeks if I get sprayed by a skunk. Lots of climbing, but nice flowy sections to go with it. And before you waste your time riding here or driving all the way here, e-bikes are not allowed anywhere on the Bailey system. So leave them at home. Only pedal power. I've lost marbles. Looking for hacksaw. Hacksaw is a black diamond out this way. I don't know if we'll make it before we run out of daylight, but we'll sure try. And I told you guys when we started, we're gonna ride as much as we can till we're out of daylight. And that's kind of the way you do it here. There are plenty of trails in a long weekend. You all right? You good? Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Off the trail?
Oh, I know there's trails.
I was just over there.
Isn't that Utah?
That's Wild Turkey and Lost Marbles is the name of it.